Angie here, having a horrendous hair day today, so I have just bunged it back in a hair tie. Thanks for joining me and welcome to my channel. Today I thought I would do a video on my recent accumulation of beauty products. It turns out that when I collated them all into a box, I had a lot more than I expected. So I'm breaking them up into two videos. This video is going to be primarily palettes and makeup items, and my next video will be on skincare items that I have hauled or accumulated in the last few months, couple of months. So without further ado, if you would like to know what I have been spending my hard-earned money on, please keep watching. First up, I would like to introduce you to two foundations that I have purchased recently. I've added to my collection the YSL All Hours foundation. I was a wee bit dubious about adding this to my collection as the third ingredient in this foundation is alcohol, and alcohol can be detrimental to your skin health. I think that if I don't use this on a daily basis, I'm hoping I will be okay with it. I think that if I was to wear it daily, the alcohol content would be a problem. But if I use it occasionally, I do find the finish is lovely. It is the foundation that I am wearing today. The coverage for me is pretty good. It is a full coverage foundation on most people's standards, but as I've mentioned before in other videos, I do have a lot of pigmentation on my skin, so that still pops through. But I don't like layering too much on my face. I don't like doing the whole concealer and foundation and powder, so I prefer a full coverage foundation and to just use that. But I am enjoying this foundation to my routine. It is available in New Zealand now, and it is available at Sephora.com in the US as well. Another foundation that I have purchased, which is now become my absolute favourite foundation along with my Estee Lauder Double Wear. Unfortunately, it is not available in New Zealand. It is an exclusive product to Too Faced, which do not ship internationally. I have noticed on their website that they said that is coming soon, so I hope that is very soon and not way down the track. And it is also exclusive to Sephora in the US. I'm very lucky. I have a dear friend who was able to bring this back to New Zealand for me, and it is the Too Faced Peach Perfect foundation. I love this. It is a matte foundation, and I have never ever come across a matte foundation such as this that I absolutely love on my oily skin. It stays matte on me all day, and there is no foundation that has done that for me. I do have to say that it lasts longer when I use it with the primer that comes with this foundation. I did get a wee sample size of that, and I have been using that, and it does stay matte longer when I use it in conjunction with that primer, but it also plays very well with my Fenty primer that I have been using lately. I love this because I don't know how to describe it without making this sound unpleasant, but it feels dry on my skin. Not dry tight, but dry, no luminosity, nothing, which for me, someone who is always glowing, it is a very pleasant change to my foundation routine. As I said, I'm wearing the YSL All Hours at the moment, and you can see I've only had it on for a few hours and I have got a little bit of a glow already. if I had the Too Faced on, I wouldn't have that glow, and sometimes I appreciate that when you on a daily basis are battling with the glow all the time. So I absolutely love this. The price comparison is huge. This is $36 US for 48 mils, which is a lot for a foundation because you normally get around 30 mils. This YSL one retails for 52 US dollars, and it's only 25 mils, so it's less than what you would get in a standard 30 mil bottle of foundation. So absolutely loving the Too Faced one. Now the rest are all palettes, so here we go. Using this beautiful palette. This is a palette that I personally purchased off beautybay.com because they ship free to New Zealand, but I have just looked on the Makeup Geek website, and this beautiful palette, which is called In the Nude and has all these beautiful nude, absolute wonderful neutral shades in it, has been discounted down from 49 US dollars down to 39 US dollars, and now you can also purchase the individual shadows as singles for 6 US dollars. Now the palette I really love. It's the same packaging. It came out with the Mani MUA shadows. It comes with a mirror, great for traveling, so I think this is beautiful, and I love the eye look that I created, and I used it for the first time today. Just Peachy Too Faced palette. This was in a lot of people's favourites for 2017. I absolutely love this palette. Unfortunately, it is an exclusive to Too Faced and Sephora.com, neither ship to New Zealand. Thank goodness I have a beautiful friend who can bring the odd thing back for me from the US. I will be doing a tutorial on all of these palettes in the coming weeks, so if you are interested in seeing how I utilise this palette, just stay tuned. And I love Tarte Cosmetics. They ship to New Zealand. This is the Maneater 2 palette. I missed out, was too slow on the train for the Maneater 1 palette. It had so many great reviews. This tiny little palette is a great travel palette, comes with a mirror, and you've got these 9 beautiful shadows. I think they've added 2 shadows to what they had in the last palette. I believe this pale colour here took up a larger portion, and they've added a black to this palette, so I am really looking forward to using that. A palette that I absolutely adore, and I'm sorry it is no longer available, but I want to share it because I think this is bomb.com, and it is the Hourglass Ambient Lighting Volume 3 palette. I purchased the Volume 2 last year, didn't like it, sent it back. I love this because I think I will get to utilise every colour in this palette. You have in the first row, going this way, finishing powder, diffused light, which is what I use to set in my under eyes. You have a strobe powder, hypnotic strobe light, as you can use as a highlighter. You can also use these finishing powders as highlighters as well if you want a very natural look. And then we have a finishing powder here in dim light, which is going to be a wonderful finishing powder for me when I wear my very matte Too Faced foundation. If I want a little bit of luminosity with it, this will be a great finishing powder. Then up the top here we have a beautiful peachy blush, a pink toned blush, and luminous light bronzer. So there's everything in there. I love the fact that it's got a pink and a peach toned blush. This is going to be a favourite travel palette for me. A Huda Beauty eyeshadow palette that I got is this Huda Obsessions palette. This is a beautiful little palette with 9 shadows. I saw a lot of people complaining about the size of the palette and the price, which really surprises me considering that the MAC 9 palettes that come out are the same size and same packaging size. So when people started complaining about that, when they're only 27 US dollars perplexed me. I love this. I love the size of this palette, especially for traveling. This is the Smoky Obsessions palette. I am really looking forward to using this palette, and it comes in 3 other colorways as well. This retails for $27 US on Sephora.com, and at Sephora.co.nz it is $55. Another Huda Beauty palette that I got that I hummed and had for so long, but it was in everybody's favourites videos for 2017, was the Huda Beauty Desert Dusk palette. And I know everyone does that, but oh my gosh, she's got the most beautiful eyes. This palette, I think you need to see it up close and personal. I don't believe the internet, the YouTube videos, the swatches, etc., do this palette any justice at all. This palette is divine. I am looking forward to creating so many gorgeous, beautiful looks with this. I wasn't going to get this because it is outside of my comfort zone when I love all my neutral colours, but it's gorgeous. So this retails for $65 US at Sephora.com, and on Sephora.co.nz you can get this at 107 New Zealand dollars. Another palette from Tarte Cosmetics that I got to boost my sales so that I got free shipping to New Zealand was this lovely little palette, and this is called the Double Duty Beauty. I really like this. I think once again I keep banging on about travel palettes, but I do appreciate palettes that have a mixture of things that take the thinking out of packing, and you can just chuck 1 or 2 palettes in there that have several items that you get a lot of use out of. This has a bronzer or contour, a highlighter, and 6 very, very pretty eye shades in here. So I am looking forward to showing you these shadows. All of these palettes I am going to do full swatches and a get ready with me eye look with all of them, so they will be coming up in the next few weeks. A palette that I purchased because I love Anastasia eyeshadows was the Anastasia Beverly Hills Prism palette. I didn't get the Subculture palette because I felt the eyeshadows were a little bit dark for my needs, but I got this, which is unusual for me because it is outside of my comfort zone as far as neutral shadows go, but I really do think I will be able to utilise the colours in here and create some really pretty eye looks. Looking forward to using that. This retails on Sephora.co.nz for 86 New Zealand dollars, or you can purchase it on Sephora.com for $42, and hopefully there are a few lucky people out there who got it on the Sephora Wow specials last week, because it was a very good price then. I already have a Vizart palette that I absolutely adore, and that is the Neutral Mattes palette. I decided when tossing up between another palette by Natasha Denona, the Sunset palette, that instead I opted for this palette here, as I already knew that I really enjoyed the quality of these eyeshadows, and these are going to give me that warm sunset type eye look that I would get with the Natasha Denona. Yes, I know that there are some beautiful shimmer colours in the Natasha Denona Sunset palette, but I do have shimmers in other palettes that I could use for a pop of colour. The reason I chose this over the Natasha Denona was after my experience with the palette that I got, the Aries palette at Christmas time. Loved the actual shadows, loved the colours, but was a wee bit disappointed with the beautiful nude colour falling out after only 4 weeks of owning the palette, and seeing reviews that actually happened to quite a few people upon receiving the palette. I think the 12-month shelf life that is on her palettes is true to what I think the longevity of those shadows would be with some of the ingredients in the shadows. Seeing how the shimmers shrunk in the palette a little bit, I think I would have more longevity with this palette than I would the Sunset palette. Don't get me wrong, I think it's a beautiful, beautiful palette. I just don't think I would get to utilize all of those shadows for the price point as I would using the colors in the Vise Art palette. So even though this is a pricey palette too at $80 US, I strongly feel that I would get far more use out of this than purchasing the Natasha Denona one for $129 US. I did happen to get this at the Sephora VIB sale with 20% off, which made it a lot more appealing to purchase. And as I have said time and time again on previous videos, that if something does not work for me, I don't keep it. I hope you enjoyed that, guys, and I apologise if it seems a little bit excessive, but as I said, a lot of these palettes have been on order, or I have acquired them and have put them aside to show in videos since about August last year, so they're quite a few months of accumulation. If you did enjoy that, guys, please feel free to give it a thumbs up. That would be wonderful. And if you haven't already, please subscribe to my channel. I would love to see you back. Thanks for joining me, guys. I hope you've all had a beautiful and wonderful day, and I look forward to seeing you next time. See you later, guys. Bye.